Hello everyone. In our last tutorial we have discussed about SwiftLint. Now what are the advantages of SwiftLint? This is just for the linting of our Swift language, where we can apply some rules. So based on that you will get the warnings or errors in your mobile application code related to line length, trailing white spaces, optional binding related to vertical white space. So everything we discussed in our last SwiftLint tutorial. So these are for static code analysis. That means when your code is at the compile level, if there are any code smells or code issues to detect, we use these tools like SwiftLint and SwiftFormat. SwiftFormat is something that let's discuss in this video tutorial, where if you see the official site of SwiftFormat, it is used for formatting and linting of the code base, which is a very popular linting open source tool for formatting and linting Swift code. It is basically designed to help Swift developers maintain a consistent and readable code style by automatically applying code formatting rules and identifying potential issues in the code base. So there are different ways to install it. That depends. There are several ways to install: as a command line tool, as a source editor extension we can, as a build phase in our Xcode project we can, as a git pre-commit hook. That means when so we can add something like a pre-commit hook. So whenever developers commit to the git, we can use this so that it formats the code as per the rules defined in the YML file. So it is also based on YML file. So SwiftLint, we discussed this YML file. So same like SwiftFormat is having some YML file where we typically define the rules. For example, else should be in the same line, guard else, related, pretty much same like in the lint rules. We have SwiftFormat for max width, no space operators, patterns, host. So pretty much there is a URL which defines all the rules for the SwiftFormat. So if we go and see these are all the rules that are there in the Swift format that we can apply. This I'm going to place that in the description. You can find this link in the description of this particular video. So we can go through each and every rule and see the description, and we can apply as per our project need. So for now I just added some if it is a redundant self, that means only in the closures and all we need to mention the explicit self. Now it's not needed everywhere self is not needed. Usually junior developers have this habit of writing, for example, let's see this sample code base. I have an array, so here I don't need to call it, but if I call it for example else, if I define it in separate line, let's see what SwiftFormat does. So what I have taken is I have used bots to install my the SwiftFormat. So using the command line interface, I have placed the YML file. I pretty much used some rules where self removing of redundant self, semicolons are not required this much, and else position, guard, next line. So let's basically see these this stuff. And also in the build script phases I have added this line as per the documentation, where so add a build phase to our app target. So I went with Cocoa pods. So this is what I used, and I went with adding this in my new run script phase, so that whenever I build my project, this script will be executed and my SwiftFormat will be running on the code that I have written. I can use Swift package manager as well, and I git pre-commit hook. If you want to set this up at your GitLab or GitHub level, there is a pre-commit hook we can set up, so that on all the Swift file this formatter will be applied. So yeah, pretty much that's how we can install. And rules, of course, we have a separate document. I'm going to place that in the description of this video. We need to mention the Swift version, so that based on the Swift version also the SwiftFormat works. Why? Because SwiftFormat rules are version agnostic, most of the rules, but few are like based on the Swift version, they do the formatting. So it's better to mention the Swift version also, or Swift .swift hyphen version file, we can place it in our project directory. So the Swift format takes that, and based on the Swift version it will do the formatting. Basically it will do the linting. So let's quickly go to the code. That's basically with the setup. So here two things I want to test it. One is else I have written the separate line, self I have written it, which is not required. Let me just build it and see. So after building, you can see the magic, self got removed and else has come to the next place. So that's our Swift format. It doesn't give you any warnings or errors. It automatically formats your code based on the rules we have defined in the YML file. We can pretty much go through what are all the empty braces. These are very intuitive, straightforward. We can see based on, there are many rules. We can see based on our project need what are all the rules formatting it is required, so that your code looks based on what you are defining in the format YML file, so that to avoid each developer having their own style of programming, these are all formatting and linting tools we can go ahead with. So pretty much Swift format we use it for code formatting, which we just witnessed, like automatically it reformats the courses, reformats the Swift code. Sorry. Okay, so self it removed, else it moved to the next line, indentation, spacing, line breaks, many more customizable rules we can apply. Swift format is highly customizable. We can configure it to follow our team's coding style by enabling or disabling specific formatting rules. This flexibility allows us to tailor Swift format to our projects based on the specific needs. So it's used as a command line tool, making it easy to integrate into integrating it to our development workflow. So we can run Swift format manually or automate it execution using build scripts. So but we used here build scripts, and also it's editor integrations. It offers editor integrations, which is it applies to popular code editors like Xcode, Visual Studio and others as well. These integrations typically make it convenient to apply code formatting within our preferred development environment. So that's one of the highlights of Swift formatting. Linting pretty much, in addition to formatting, Swift formatting can also perform linting, which involves identifying and reporting potential code issues and violations of coding standard, the self-catch bugs and maintain code quality. Not only formatting, linting also we can apply. If we can go through this particular rules.md file, we can see what are all the linting rules that it is having. So based on that we can same trailing commas, trailing spaces, we can have a type sugar, we can have unused arguments, we can give the warnings or some sort of it, we can wrap the stuff, we can wrap the arguments. So pretty much there are good number of use cases, indent case, if definition, indentation basically, so that our code looks good end of the day. And pre-commit hooks we just discussed, where if you feel like pre-commit instead of this happening at in the Xcode or in the Visual Studio, as a git pre-commit hook, so that it runs on any files you have changed before you check them in. Instead of on the Swift file, it runs on any files. So it's a community driven, of course. It's an open source project having active community and distribution, so we don't need to worry about the support. It is having the Swift language support. It's a very valuable tool for Swift developers who want to maintain code consistently and quality wise also, while adhering to coding standards as a style guidelines. So as part of this video tutorials, I just covered only two use cases. Why? Because I just wanted to show how on adding the run script, build the script phases, it automatically formats your code. So if you want to see it once again, let me put it on the next line, and indentation, let me change it, and let me add explicit self. See, it is, see, of course Xcode is doing it, but see, it is supposed to correct this indentation, it is supposed to remove this self, it is supposed to put this else in the next line. So let's see whether it is doing it or not. So I just built it, indentation it corrected, unnecessary self it removed, else it made it to the next line. So that's all related to Swift format. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you.